Mark and his sister Jenny drove up the mountain road on a Friday afternoon. Mark was 25, Jenny was 22. They wanted one weekend away from the city, away from phones and computers and noise. "Look at the map," Mark said. "We're close." Jenny studied the paper map. Yes, paper. The hiking trail they chose was so remote that GPS didn't work there. The trail was called Widow's Path. A strange name, but the photos online looked beautiful. They parked at the empty trailhead. Only their car sat in the dirt lot. "Weird," Jenny said. "It's Saturday. Where is everyone?" Mark shrugged. "Maybe we're early." They put on their backpacks and started walking. The trail wound through tall trees that blocked the sun. The air smelled like pine and wet earth. Birds sang somewhere high above. For 2 hours, they hiked deeper into the forest. The trail was clear and easy to follow. They talked and laughed and took photos. Everything felt perfect. Then Jenny stopped. "Mark, look." A sign stood beside the trail. Old wood, carved letters. It said, "Turn back, last warning." "Someone's idea of a joke," Mark said. But Jenny felt cold despite the warm day. "Maybe we should listen." "Come on. We drove 3 hours to get here. Let's at least reach the lake." They kept walking. The forest grew darker. The trees grew closer together. The bird song stopped. After another hour, they found the second sign. "Too late now." "This isn't funny anymore," Jenny whispered. Mark felt it too. Something was wrong. The forest was too quiet. No wind, no animals, no insects. Just thick, heavy silence. "Let's go back," Mark said. They turned around and started walking back the way they came. But something was different. The trail looked wrong. The trees seemed to have moved. They walked for 30 minutes, then an hour, then 2 hours. "We should have reached the car by now," Jenny said. Her voice shook. That's when they saw it, the same sign, "Turn back, last warning." "We're going in circles," Mark said. "That's impossible. We didn't turn around." The sun was setting now. Shadows grew long and dark between the trees. "We need to set up camp," Mark said. "We'll figure this out in the morning." They left the trail and found a small clearing. They set up their tent as darkness fell. Mark built a fire. They ate energy bars in silence, both too scared to talk about what was happening. Then they heard it. Footsteps, many footsteps, walking around their camp in a circle. But they saw nothing, just darkness beyond the firelight. The footsteps walked all night, round and round and round. Morning came gray and cold. Mark and Jenny packed quickly. They had to find the way out. "Let's try going off trail," Mark said. "Downhill leads to civilization, right?" They walked downhill through the trees. No trail now, just forest. After an hour, they came to a stream. They followed it, hoping it would lead to a road or a town. Instead, it led them to something else. A campsite, tent still standing, fire pit full of old ashes, but no people. Jenny looked inside the tent. Sleeping bags, backpacks, phones, everything still there. "They left everything," she said. "Why would they leave everything?" Mark found something carved into a tree trunk, words cut deep into the bark. "They're watching. Don't follow the voices." "Mark," Jenny said quietly, "I want to go home." "Me too." They kept walking. The stream led them to another campsite, then another. 5 camps in total, all abandoned, all with everything still inside. Tents, bags, supplies, phones. At the last camp, they found a journal. Mark opened it with shaking hands. The last entry said, "Day 12. We've been walking for 12 days. The trail won't let us leave. We hear voices now. They call our names. They promise to show us the way out if we follow them. Sarah wants to follow the voices. I told her no, but I'm so tired. Maybe the voices are trying to help. Maybe we should listen." The entry ended there. 12 days, Jenny whispered. "These people were lost for 12 days. Mark dropped the journal. "We're not following any voices. We stick together. We keep moving." But as soon as he said it, they heard them, voices coming from deeper in the forest, soft and sweet. "Mark, Jenny, this way. We can help you. We know the way out." "Don't listen," Mark said. He grabbed Jenny's hand. But the voices were so kind, so gentle. They promised safety. They promised home. "Mark, your mother is worried. Come this way. We'll take you to her. Jenny, your cat misses you. Follow us. Not far now. Jenny started walking toward the voices. Mark pulled her back. It's not real, he shouted. Those things aren't real. Jenny blinked. Tears ran down her face. I want to go home, Mark. I just want to go home. I know we will, but not that way. They ran away from the voices, away from the abandoned camps, away from the stream. They ran until their lungs burned and their legs shook. When they stopped, they were in a part of the forest they'd never seen. The trees here were dead, gray and twisted, no leaves, no life. And there, in the center of the dead trees, stood a cabin. The cabin was old, very old. The wood was black with age and rot. The windows were broken. The door hung open like a mouth. We shouldn't go in there, Jenny said. But night was coming again, and the voices were getting closer. They could hear them in the distance, calling, promising, lying. Just for tonight, Mark said. We'll leave at first light. They went inside. The cabin was one room, empty except for a table and a fireplace. Dust covered everything. In the corner, they saw something that made them stop. Scratches on the wall, hundreds of scratches, counting marks. Someone had been here a long time, counting the days. The marks covered the entire wall. Mark tried to count them. He stopped at 300. Oh God, Jenny whispered. On the floor beneath the marks, they found bones. Small bones. Human bones. They ran outside, but the voices surrounded them now, coming from every direction, no longer sweet, no longer kind. Angry now, hungry. You can't leave. Nobody leaves. Stay, stay, stay with us forever. Mark and Jenny stood back to back. The voices came closer. The darkness between the trees seemed to move, to breathe, to live. Then Mark saw them. People, dozens of people, standing between the trees, watching, not moving, just watching with empty eyes. Jenny, don't look, Mark said. But Jenny was already looking. She recognized one of them. A woman in hiking clothes. The woman from the journal. Help us, Jenny called to them, and please help us. The people didn't move, didn't speak, just watched with those empty eyes. Then, as one, they all turned and walked deeper into the forest, walking in perfect silence, walking like puppets on strings. We have to run, Mark said, now. They ran through the darkness. Branches tore at their clothes and skin. Roots tried to trip them. The voices screamed all around them. Mark didn't know where they were going. He just ran. Jenny's hand was in his. As long as he held her hand, they were together. Then Jenny screamed. Mark turned. Jenny was gone. Something had pulled her away. He heard her screaming his name from somewhere in the darkness. Jenny, he shouted. Jenny, where are you? Mark, help me. I'm over here. Follow my voice. Mark started to run toward her voice. Then he stopped. That wasn't Jenny's voice. It sounded like Jenny, but it wasn't. It was the forest pretending. Mark, please, it's me. Come find me. Mark fell to his knees. Tears poured down his face. His sister was really gone, taken, and he couldn't save her. Mark walked through the forest like a ghost. He didn't know how many days had passed. 2, 3, he'd stopped counting. He ate nothing, drank from streams, kept walking. The voices still called to him. Sometimes they sounded like Jenny, sometimes like his parents, sometimes like friends from long ago. He didn't listen anymore. He found more camps, more bones, more scratch marks counting days on trees. One tree had a message carved into it. The forest is alive. It's hungry. It eats time. It eats us. Mark kept walking. He thought about Jenny. He should have held on tighter. He should have never let go. On the 4th day, or was it the 5th, he found the trail again. Widow's Path. His heart jumped. The trail would lead him out. He ran faster than he'd ever run, following the trail through the trees. Then he saw it. The sign, turn back, last warning. The first sign, the one they'd seen on the first day. He'd come full circle. Mark screamed. He screamed until his throat was raw. He punched the sign until his knuckles bled. It changed nothing. That night, Mark heard new sounds, not voices, footsteps, running footsteps. Someone burst into his camp. A woman, young, terrified. "Please," she gasped. "Please, is this the way out?" Mark stared at her. A hiker, a new hiker, fresh to the trail, just like he had been. "You have to leave," Mark said. "Right now. Go back. Don't stop. Don't listen to anything. Just run." "What? What are you talking about?" "Run!" Mark screamed. "Before it's too late. Before it takes you too." The woman backed away from him, scared. She thought he was crazy. She turned and ran back down the trail. Mark wanted to follow her, to help her, but he knew the truth now. There was no helping anyone here. The forest had them all. Morning of the 7th day, or maybe the 17th, Mark had lost count. He sat by a stream, looking at his reflection. He looked like a stranger, dirty, thin, eyes hollow. He thought about giving up, about letting the voices take him, about joining those empty-eyed people walking forever through the trees. Then he saw something in the water. A flash of orange. He reached in and pulled it out. A life jacket, the kind from boats. A boat meant water. Water meant a lake or a river. Rivers led to civilization. Mark stood up. New strength filled his body. He followed the stream. It grew wider, became a river. The river led him to a lake, a big lake, and on the other side of the lake, he saw it. Lights, buildings, a town. Mark laughed. He cried. He'd found the way out. But there was no bridge, no boat, just dark water between him and freedom. The water looked wrong, too dark, too still, like oil. The voices came again. "Don't cross the water, Mark. The water is death. Stay with us. Stay where it's safe." Mark looked back at the forest. He saw them now, all the lost hikers, standing between the trees, watching, waiting for him to give up. He saw Jenny among them, his sister. Her eyes were empty like the rest. "I'm sorry, Jenny," Mark whispered. Then he jumped into the water. The water was freezing. It pulled at him like hands. Voices screamed in his ears. The forest didn't want to let him go. Mark swam. He swam with everything he had. His muscles screamed. His lungs burned. The far shore seemed to get further away instead of closer. But he kept swimming. Something grabbed his leg, pulled him down. He kicked hard and broke free. He swam harder. The shore was close now, so close, 10 feet, 5 feet. His hand touched mud. He crawled onto the shore. He collapsed on the grass. When he opened his eyes, he was in a parking lot. His car was right there, exactly where he'd left it. Mark stood on shaking legs. He looked back. There was no lake, no river, just forest. And standing at the edge of the trees, he saw them. All the lost people, watching him. Jenny was there. She raised one hand, waving goodbye. Mark got in his car. His keys were still in his pocket. The car started. He drove away. He didn't look back. The police didn't believe his story. They searched the forest for weeks. They never found Jenny. They never found the cabin, or the camps, or the bones. "There is no trail called Widow's Path," the ranger told Mark. "Never has been." But Mark knew the truth. The forest was there. The forest was real. And the forest was still hungry. Sometimes, late at night, Mark hears voices outside his window, calling his name, asking him to come back. He never will, but he wonders, in his darkest moments, if he really escaped at all.